So the starters are underneath the intake manifold on these. So the first step is obviously going to be to isolate the intake manifold. So he's got a broken vacuum line right there. What fun. Well, actually, this stays on the manifold, so I can leave that on. Alright, don't forget, with this vacuum line, the one with the vacuum box on it, goes right here. And this one goes to the further back line, which actually goes to the intake manifold, which is the one that's broken. But we shouldn't have to worry about that. Okay. Let's go ahead and undo the throttle. And two 12mm bolts. Coolant line and place it out of the way, but leave it facing up so you don't lose a bunch of coolant. Should be a lower line down there. I know we might actually not need to remove that lower one, but I'm gonna leave it connected for now. Alright, the injectors will come out with this intake manifold, so they do need to be unplugged. your engine coolant temperature sensor. Do this right, we can actually just fold this out of the way, and the more cluttered side becomes a lot less cluttered. Love it. There we go. These are the lines that go to your heater core. You are going to lose coolant. Obviously, Toyota wanted this to be as much of a pain in the butt as possible. But other than that, as far as I'm going to see, because that will come off with it, let's just follow this vacuum line. The vacuum line connects back here, so that whole piece will come off with the intake manifold. That looks super rusty, and I really don't want to mess with that. That's a can of worms waiting to happen. I'm not going to open it. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is removing the fuel rail from this side instead. Right here in the front. Which is really, really on there apparently. I don't want to give this thing too much force. Alright, now when you're pulling this off, if you do have to remove the fuel rail on yours, like I'm doing on this one, do not lose these crush washers. There will be two of them. One on top of the fuel channel and one below it. Two 12mm bolts. The fuel rail will run free, and what I'd like to do is leave the injectors in there, but it's going to come out how it comes out. Usually some stay in, some fall out, some do backflips, you never know. Give it a few taps to move it out of the way, and then you should be clear to remove your fuel rail. I would like to get this further out of the way, but I don't think this design's really going to let me have too much play with this. Undo this coil pack in the back. Just slide all this over top of it. It actually looks like all four injectors came out with the fuel rail, so that's always good. I really just want this to be out of the way so I can drain the fuel, preferably behind the engine and not on it, and make sure you have all your rings which I do. I'm just going to clean those off before reinstallation, obviously, but alright, so that way I did not have to disconnect this fuel line. It looks like you're supposed to disconnect it down here, but as you can see how rusted that is, I don't even want to mess with it. I'd rather remove a fuel rail than take that off and not be able to get it to thread back together because it's rusted or XYZ. If you work on cars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a can of worms I'm going to avoid opening. So, with that, I believe the intake manifold is ready for removal. Give these their own little pocket, and you can get down behind the fuel injectors with that. Right, and these ones are bolts, which are a lot easier to get your fingers on. See down there, but I figured there'd be one right around that area. Fuel line on this side is in your way. Feel free to remove it. It's not necessary to remove your intake manifold. With what we've done, we should be able to remove this whole thing as one unit. But if you do need to remove the fuel line on the passenger side, it's basically the exact same as the driver's side, only mirrored. So shouldn't give you too much trouble. And that might be the last bolt. I'm going to take off these on this side. I'm going to see if I can knock this loose. Does look like there will be one more bolt on the opposite side, because I know I didn't tape this one this far out. And also, you really want to make sure you don't drop any of these bolts. I mean, I know that goes without saying, but when you are reinstalling them, you definitely want to be super careful not to drop them, because they'll fall under your intake manifold, and you'll have to remove it again to get that missing bolt. Let's see if I can't get eyes. I don't think I can. I'm going to feel around for it. There it is right there. So. you're done, should have 6 bolts and 4 nuts. So that's it. This intake manifold is ready to be removed. And remember again, I did not remove these lower coolant lines that go to your throttle body, which looking at it now, the easiest thing to do for this would probably be just to undo these. Look like 12mm bolts. There's 4 of them. Take the throttle body off all by itself. I didn't do that this time. I'll probably do that next time, because that does look like it would be a lot easier than disconnecting a bunch of stuff. But always grow. Never stay complacent with your knowledge. If you didn't learn something today, you are wasting a day. So what I want to do with these coolant lines is kind of just pull this bad boy off, and then pick it up and then rotate it this way so it's out of the way. It won't actually leave the car. We got fuel from the other fuel rail. Okay. And then that's your intake manifold out of the way. And there's your starter. We were very careful not to remove this nice and slow so we didn't drop any leaves down here. Normally you would want to blow out your top of your engine with the air compressor, but as you can see, we are not near a shop right now, and this guy's broken down and needs a starter. So we're just doing the best we can with what we got. I think what they want you to do is remove this coolant valley with 4, looks like 12mm bolts. I really don't want to do that. I'm going to see if I can't do it without doing that, because you touch those valleys, you're probably going to have to replace the gaskets or else they're going to leak. Alright, that one's loose. Now that it's broken loose, you can hopefully get this out by hand. Alright, and now we set up to break the other bolt loose. Now this bolt is knocked loose. Lastly, unplug the signal wire. And there's your starter.